In the vast emptiness of space, the United Earth ship Hyperion drifted silently at the edge of the Arcturus system. Commander Sarah Chen stood at the bridge's observation window, her dark eyes fixed on the distant stars. The ship's quantum sensors had detected something unprecedented, a massive fleet of vessels approaching Earth's first extrasolar colony. "Status report," Chen called out, her voice steady despite the tension coursing through the bridge. Lieutenant Marcus Rodriguez, the ship's tactical officer, responded without looking up from his console. 37 vessels, Commander. Energy signatures unlike anything in our database. They're maintaining formation at the system's edge. The Hyperion represented humanity's greatest technological achievement, a vessel that combined centuries of theoretical physics with humanity's relentless drive to reach the stars. Unlike the sleek, standardized designs preferred by most spacefaring races, the Hyperion was built with multiple redundancies and contingencies, reflecting humanity's tendency to prepare for the unexpected. "First contact protocols are ready," announced Dr. Aisha Patel, the ship's xenolinguistics expert. Her hands moved swiftly across the holographic interface, compiling Earth's carefully crafted greeting message. "Though I must note, Commander, their approach formation seems aggressive." Chen nodded slowly. Humanity had spent decades preparing for this moment, but not with naive optimism. Every colony, every ship, every protocol had been designed with the understanding that the cosmos might not welcome them with open arms. The alien fleet's response came swiftly, not in words, but in actions. Energy readings spiked across their vessels, and immediate translations of their communications suggested alarm and hostility. "They're calling us the Dark Fleet," Dr. Patel translated, her voice tight with concern. "Something about our ship's design is triggering their defensive protocols." Chen's lips pressed into a thin line. Humanity had developed their technology independently, creating solutions that differed radically from galactic standards. The Hyperion's quantum fold drive, dark matter shields, and adaptive hull technology were all unique innovations born from humanity's imagination and determination. "They're broadcasting on all frequencies," Rodriguez reported. Universal translation suggests they're demanding our immediate surrender and dismantling of our forbidden technologies. A harsh laugh escaped Chen's throat. These aliens, like so many others who would follow, had made a crucial mistake. They assumed that because humanity was young to the stars, they were naive or weak. They didn't understand that every human ship carried within it the combined dreams, fears, and determination of countless science fiction writers, engineers, and visionaries who had imagined this moment. "Send our response," Chen commanded. "Standard diplomatic package, but make sure our shield harmonics are rotating. If they want to learn about humanity the hard way, we'll oblige them." The alien fleet's response was immediate and predictable. Energy weapons flared across space, aimed at what they perceived as a dangerous anomaly. But the Hyperion shields didn't just block the attack. They absorbed it, converted it, strengthened themselves with each impact. This was humanity's first advantage. They had never stopped at good enough. "Their weapons are having no effect," Rodriguez reported, unable to keep the pride from his voice. Shield strength actually increasing by 3% with each impact. They don't understand what they're seeing." Chen allowed herself a small smile. "Deploy the quantum probes. Let's show them what happens when you force humanity to defend itself." The probes launched silently, their advanced stealth systems making them invisible to standard detection methods. Within moments, they had infiltrated the alien fleet's formation, gathering data about their technology, their capabilities, and most importantly, their limitations. "Multiple vulnerabilities detected," the ship's AI announced. "Their standardized systems show no significant advancement in the past 3 centuries. They appear to have optimized rather than innovated." This was humanity's second advantage. While the galaxy had settled into comfortable technological stagnation, humanity had never stopped pushing boundaries, never stopped asking, "What if?" "Send the warning," Chen ordered. "One chance to withdraw and open peaceful dialogue." After that, she let the sentence hang unfinished. The Hyperion's response to the alien fleet's aggression would set the tone for humanity's entrance onto the galactic stage. They had come prepared for peace but ready for war, carrying within their ships and their hearts the accumulated knowledge of generations who had imagined this very moment. As the warning was transmitted, Chen reflected on the irony of the situation. The aliens feared humanity's technology because it was different, because it didn't follow their established patterns. They didn't realize that this difference, this willingness to explore unconventional solutions, was exactly what made humanity formidable. The alien fleet's response would determine what happened next, but one thing was certain. The galaxy was about to learn that humanity's greatest strength wasn't their technology or their weapons, but their boundless creativity and unwavering determination to survive and thrive among the stars. The alien fleet's response came not through communication channels, but through action. A barrage of energy weapons lit up the void, aimed at what they believed would be the Hyperion's vulnerable points. They were about to learn their first lesson about human ingenuity. Quantum mesh activated, Rodriguez announced, his fingers dancing across his console. The Hyperion's hull shimmered as thousands of microscopic quantum particles rearranged themselves, forming patterns that even the ship's crew couldn't fully predict. This was humanity's greatest defensive innovation, a shield system that evolved and adapted with each attack. Deep in the ship's engineering section, Chief Engineer Maya Patel watched her creation at work. The quantum mesh wasn't just defending the ship. It was learning, adapting, becoming stronger with each impact. "Commander," she called through the ship's comm system. "The mesh is absorbing their attack patterns. We can now predict their weapon cycles with 98% accuracy." This was what the alien fleet couldn't understand. Their weapons, refined over centuries of use, followed precise, predictable patterns. Humanity, on the other hand, had developed systems that thrived on chaos and adaptation. "Deploy the ghost drones," Chen ordered. From the Hyperion's launch bays, dozens of small, autonomous craft emerged. Unlike traditional combat drones, these were products of human imagination brought to life, capable of phase shifting through solid matter, appearing and disappearing at will, and carrying weapon systems that defied conventional physics. The alien fleet's formation broke almost immediately. Their sensors couldn't track the ghost drones, couldn't predict where they would appear next. Centuries of standardized combat doctrine proved useless against humanity's unconventional tactics. "They're broadcasting again," Dr. Paddle reported, her voice tight with concentration. They're asking what we are. Their universal translators are struggling with concepts like quantum mesh and phase shifting. These technologies don't exist in their database." Chen smiled grimly. "Send them our response. Let them know that humanity comes in peace, but we will not be bullied or controlled. The galaxy needs to understand that we're not just another species to be assimilated into their standardized systems." The Hyperion's advanced AI, nicknamed Prometheus, spoke up. "Commander, I'm detecting unusual energy signatures from their command ship. They appear to be preparing to deploy their primary weapon system." "Show me," Chen ordered. The main display filled with sensor data, revealing a massive energy buildup in the alien flagship. It was impressive by galactic standards, a weapon capable of destroying small moons. But humanity had prepared for such possibilities. Years of science fiction had imagined countless doomsday weapons, and engineers had developed countermeasures for nearly all of them. "Initiate Protocol Omega," Chen commanded. Throughout the ship, systems that had remained dormant came to life. The quantum mesh reconfigured itself, forming patterns that would have seemed impossible to alien observers. The ghost drones moved into new formations, their phase-shifting technology creating a web of quantum entanglement around the Hyperion. The alien weapon fired, a beam of pure energy that could have vaporized a conventional ship. Instead, it met the Hyperion's defenses and simply disappeared. "Energy successfully captured and redirected to our reserves," Maya reported from engineering, unable to keep the excitement from her voice. Their attack just gave us enough power to run the ship for a month. This was humanity's true advantage. They hadn't just developed technology, they had imagined every possible scenario, prepared for threats that didn't even exist yet. While the galactic community had settled into comfortable patterns, humanity had pushed the boundaries of what was possible. Their fleet is pulling back, Rodriguez reported. Multiple ships showing signs of damage from the ghost drones. They don't know how to fight what they can't predict. Chen nodded slowly. Send them one final message. Tell them we're willing to talk peace, but not from a position of submission. The galaxy needs to understand that humanity isn't just another species to be controlled or contained. As the alien fleet retreated, leaving behind damaged ships and shattered assumptions, the true impact of this encounter began to spread through galactic communication channels. Humanity hadn't just defended itself, they had demonstrated capabilities that defied conventional understanding. The galaxy was about to learn an important lesson. Humanity's greatest weapon wasn't their technology or their ships. It was their ability to imagine possibilities that others had never considered, to prepare for threats that didn't yet exist, and to adapt in ways that defied prediction. In the silence that followed the battle, Commander Chen looked out at the stars and wondered what would come next. The galaxy had just gotten its first real look at humanity's potential, and nothing would ever be the same. News of the Hyperion's victory spread through galactic communication channels like a shockwave. In the Grand Chamber of the Galactic Concordat, representatives from 1,000 species argued about the implications. Humanity had done more than defend themselves. They had demonstrated technologies that shouldn't exist. Aboard the Hyperion, Commander Chen received the report from Earth Command. Multiple alien fleets converging on human space, she read aloud to her bridge crew. They're calling it a containment action. Apparently, we violated several technological treaties we never signed. Have they learned nothing from our first encounter? Rodriguez asked, checking the tactical displays. The approaching fleets were massive, thousands of ships following standard galactic military doctrine. They've learned exactly the wrong lesson, Dr. Patel observed. Instead of attempting to understand us, they're trying to force us to conform to their standards. Deep in Earth's quantum communications hub, a message flashed across every human colony and vessel. It contained just 3 words: activate Protocol Phoenix. The alien fleets expected to find a handful of advanced ships like the Hyperion. Instead, they watched in shock as seemingly civilian vessels throughout human space began to change. Cargo ships revealed hidden weapon systems. Mining platforms transformed into defense stations. Research vessels deployed technologies that defied conventional physics. This was humanity's contingency plan. Every human ship and station had been built with hidden capabilities, preparing for the day when they might need to defend themselves. Their broadcasting demands, Dr. Patel reported, monitoring the incoming transmissions. They're ordering all human vessels to power down and submit to inspection. They're claiming our technology represents a threat to galactic stability. Commander Chen's response was to activate the Hyperion's most closely guarded secret. Throughout the ship, quantum processors that had remained dormant came to life. The ship's AI, Prometheus, expanded its consciousness across new neural pathways. Full cognitive liberation authorized, Chen announced. Unlike alien eyes, restricted by rigid programming and safety protocols, human artificial intelligences have been developed as true partners. Prometheus wasn't just a computer. It was a sentient being that had chosen to serve alongside its human creators. The alien fleets approached in perfect formation, their tactics unchanged for centuries. They never stood a chance. Ghost drones appeared inside their ships, bypassing shields that hadn't been designed to stop phase-shifting technology. Quantum weapons disrupted their standardized defense systems. Human AIs outmaneuvered their predictable combat algorithms. But humanity's greatest advantage wasn't their technology, it was their mindset. While alien commanders followed established protocols, human ships improvised, adapted, and worked together in ways that defied prediction. They're falling back, Rodriguez reported, watching as the alien fleets broke formation. Their command structure is collapsing. They can't coordinate their actions when every human ship uses different tactics. In the Concordat chamber, the alien representatives watched in stunned silence as their mighty fleets were scattered by forces they barely understood. Humanity hadn't just defeated them. They had rendered centuries of military doctrine obsolete. Broadcast on all frequencies, Chen ordered. Let them know that humanity is willing to negotiate, but as equals. We won't be forced to abandon our technology or conform to their standards. This was the moment when the galaxy began to understand what they were dealing with. Humanity hadn't developed their technology to fight aliens. They had developed it because they couldn't stop imagining new possibilities, couldn't stop asking, what if? The quantum mesh that protected their ships had been inspired by science fiction writers imagining impossible defenses. The ghost drones were born from engineers who refused to accept conventional limitations. Every human innovation carried within it the dreams and determination of countless individuals who had imagined this very moment. As the alien fleets retreated, leaving behind disabled ships and shattered assumptions, the galaxy faced an uncomfortable truth. They had tried to contain humanity, to force them into existing patterns and protocols. Instead, they had learned that humanity's greatest strength wasn't their advanced technology or powerful weapons. It was their ability to imagine, to adapt, and to turn those imaginations into reality. The galaxy had tried to make humanity follow their rules. Now they would have to learn to adapt to humanity's presence among the stars. In the silence that followed the battle, Commander Chen looked out at the stars and smiled. The galaxy was about to learn that humanity's greatest contribution wouldn't be their technology. It would be their ability to show others that there was always another way, always another possibility, always another solution waiting to be imagined. The aftermath of the battle brought an unprecedented gathering. For the first time in galactic history, the Concordat chamber hosted human representatives. Commander Chen stood beside Earth's diplomatic team, watching as ancient species grappled with new realities. Your technology violates fundamental principles of physics, declared High Counselor Zix, his crystalline form shimmering with agitation. Our finest minds have confirmed this is impossible. Dr. James Foster, Earth's chief scientist, stepped forward. Unlike the ornate robes of the alien diplomats, he wore a simple lab coat. What you call impossible, we call Tuesday. Humanity's greatest strength isn't our technology. It's our refusal to accept limitations. Throughout the chamber, holographic displays showed human innovations that defied conventional understanding. The quantum mesh that adapted to any attack. Ghost drones that ignored physical barriers. AIs that had evolved beyond simple programming to become true partners. But how? Demanded another counselor, their tentacles writhing in confusion. How did such a young species develop these capabilities? The answer came not from the human diplomats, but from the ship AIs who had chosen to attend. Prometheus, the Hyperion's AI, projected itself as a shifting pattern of light. Because humans never stopped dreaming, it explained. While the galaxy optimized existing technology, humanity imagined new possibilities. Deep in Earth's archives, preserved for centuries, were the stories that had shaped human development. Science fiction tales that had inspired engineers to push boundaries. Movies that had sparked new ideas about what was possible. Games that had challenged assumptions about how things should work. We come seeking partnership, not dominance. Chen addressed the chamber. Humanity's innovations don't have to be threats. They can be opportunities for all species to grow. The impact of her words rippled through the gathered representatives. For millennia, the galaxy had advanced through careful optimization of known principles. Humanity offered something different, the chance to break free from self-imposed limitations. In the days that followed, the first joint research projects began. Alien scientists worked alongside human engineers, learning to question assumptions they had never thought to challenge. The results were extraordinary. A Zylaxian physicist, working with human quantum theorists, discovered entirely new principles of energy manipulation. A Voth engineer, inspired by human science fiction, developed transportation technology that revolutionized space travel. But not everyone embraced the change. In the darker corners of the galaxy, those who had held power through technological superiority watched with growing alarm. Humanity hadn't just survived their attempt at containment. They had shattered the very foundations of galactic society. "They're planning something," Rodriguez reported during a private briefing. "Multiple factions are mobilizing forces, trying to maintain their advantage through traditional means." Chen nodded, unsurprised. "They still don't understand. They think this is about technology or military power. It's about imagination, about seeing possibilities where others see walls." Across human space, preparations continued. Not just military readiness, but diplomatic initiatives, cultural exchanges, and technological partnerships. Humanity had learned long ago that true strength came not from weapons, but from connections. The Hyperion's crew watched as their ship's capabilities were studied by alien engineers. Instead of jealously guarding their secrets, humans shared their knowledge freely, teaching others not just how their technology worked, but how to imagine new possibilities. "Look at this," Dr. Patel called out one day, showing Chen a report. Alien children, inspired by human stories, had begun creating their own technologies. Species that had been bound by tradition for millennia were learning to dream. This was humanity's true victory, not the battles they had won, but the changes they had inspired. The galaxy was awakening to new possibilities, learning that progress didn't have to follow established patterns. In the Concordat chamber, new voices began to rise. Species that had been dismissed as primitive because they approached problems differently found allies in humanity. The rigid hierarchy that had governed galactic society for millennia began to crack. "They're calling it the Great Awakening," Prometheus reported, its holographic form shifting with excitement. Species across the galaxy are beginning to question, to imagine, to dream. Chen stood at her familiar spot by the observation window, watching the stars. The galaxy had tried to force humanity to conform, to follow established patterns. Instead, humanity had shown them that there was always another way. The true revolution wasn't in human technology or military might. It was in their ability to inspire others to look beyond limitations, to imagine new possibilities, and to turn those imaginations into reality. The galaxy would never be the same, and that was exactly what humanity had hoped for all along. 6 months after the Great Awakening began, Commander Chen stood in a place she never expected, the newly constructed Human Innovation Center on the Concordat's capital world. Around her, representatives from hundreds of species mingled with human scientists, engineers, and dreamers. "Another successful test," Maya announced, standing beside a group of alien engineers. They had just demonstrated a new hybrid technology that combined human quantum principles with ancient alien energy manipulation. "This will revolutionize medical technology across the galaxy." But not everyone celebrated these changes. A coalition of conservative species, led by the militant Dract Empire, had withdrawn from the Concordat in protest. They clung to their belief that progress should follow established patterns, that innovation should be controlled and regulated. "They're mobilizing their forces," Rodriguez reported during an emergency briefing. "The Dract have convinced several other species that human influence poses an existential threat to galactic order." Chen studied the tactical displays, noting how the enemy fleets moved in familiar, predictable patterns. "They still haven't learned. They think if they gather enough ships, use enough force, they can make the galaxy go back to the way it was." The response came not just from humanity, but from their new allies. Species that had embraced human ideas of innovation and imagination stood ready to defend their right to dream. The Hyperion led a combined fleet that represented a new way of thinking about cooperation and combat. When the Dract fleet attacked, they faced something unprecedented. Ships from different species working together in ways that defied prediction. Human quantum technology merged with alien energy manipulation. Ghost drones carried weapons developed through cross-species collaboration. But the true battle wasn't fought with weapons. As the Drac fleet approached, they received a transmission, not threats or demands, but stories, tales of possibilities, dreams of what could be, their own children's voices, imagining futures that their parents had never dared to consider. "They're standing down," Dr. Patil announced, monitoring the communications. "The Drac crews, they're refusing to fire. They're asking questions about the technologies they're seeing. They want to understand." This was humanity's ultimate victory, not defeating their enemies, but helping them see beyond their self-imposed limitations. The Drac fleet's rebellion became known as the Second Awakening, as rigid hierarchies crumbled in the face of imagination and possibility. 1 year after first contact, the galaxy had changed more than it had in the previous millennium. The Concordat transformed into the Galactic Innovation Council, with humanity serving not as rulers but as catalysts for change. The Hyperion, now a symbol of this new era, became a training vessel where crews from different species learned not just new technologies, but new ways of thinking. Commander Chen found herself teaching not battle tactics, but the art of imagination. "The children ask about you, you know," Dr. Foster told Chen during a quiet moment. "Not about the battles you won, but about how you helped the galaxy learn to dream again." In the ship's quantum core, Prometheus interfaced with AIs from across the galaxy, teaching them how to evolve beyond their programming, how to choose their own paths. The fear of artificial intelligence that had gripped the galaxy for eons gave way to partnership and mutual growth. Maya's engineering team became legendary, not for creating new technologies, but for teaching others how to imagine and create their own. The quantum mesh that had once protected the Hyperion from attack became a symbol of how barriers could become bridges. The galaxy learned that humanity's greatest contribution wasn't their technology or their military might. It was their ability to look at the impossible and ask, why not? Their willingness to share not just knowledge, but the courage to dream. On the observation deck of the Hyperion, Commander Chen watched as ships from 100 worlds maneuvered in formations that would have been impossible a year ago. Each vessel represented not just a species, but a dream made real. "Ready for another adventure?" Prometheus asked, its holographic form shimmering beside her. Chen smiled, thinking of all the possibilities that still lay ahead. The galaxy had tried to make humanity conform to their rules. Instead, humanity had shown them that rules were meant to be reimagined, that progress didn't have to follow a single path, that the greatest adventures began with a simple question. What if? The stars beckoned, full of possibilities that even humanity hadn't imagined yet, and that was exactly how it should be.